Hi, it's Bronwyn from Rap. Jazz is a fantastic genre of music and probably one of my favorites. So in the next few videos, I'm going to share a few tips and tricks to get you sorted on mixing and mastering jazz projects. Today, I'm working on a smooth jazz track by Luigi Bastillo, and these are my top 5 tips to help you get a really great guitar sound to sit in a mix. Just remember that you can only enhance what you have, so spend the time that you need getting a really great sound at your source. Right, let's have a look. On my lead guitar, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to silence the noise between the notes. Now, there are a lot of different ways to do this. I like to use a gate. Just be careful when you're using a gate, simply because you can cut off some of the notes and you can lose either the beginning or the tail of those notes. Sometimes you need the notes to ring, so you really need to check your settings, particularly your threshold and your attack time, and then the amount of reduction that you want. Another way of dealing with the noise between the notes is to use the gain control and to automate so that you silence those parts in between the notes, or you can use your fade tools as well. But my preference is to utilize a noise gate to tame the silence. The next thing that I do is utilize an amplifier. Now, the whole idea of the amplifier is to help to shape the tone of the guitar as well as to manage the level. So I like to spend a little bit of time dialing in some really great settings on an amp, and then of course check the tone, check my source tone, see if I'm enhancing that original tone or I'm just messing it up. Jazz is a very particular genre, so you need to be really cautious in your approach. Try to be experimental as well, but throw it away if it's not working and isn't staying true to the style. The other thing about using an amp is to help you manage your levels. So silence first, then an amp to help manage the tone and the level. The next thing to consider is EQ. EQ is used for clarity. You want to get your guitar to sit really nicely in the mix, and you can have a look here. I've rolled off some of those lows, the lower mids, up to the mid-range. I've given a bit of a bump, and then some highs as well, just to bring that guitar a little bit forward. Obviously, it's really dependent on what's happening in your mix already. Next in my chain is a compressor, and the compression is used for consistency in level and sometimes for tonal character. I really like the vintage FET compressor here, and you can see that I've dialed in some character. I like the way that it adds some color to the sound, and it just worked really nicely on this particular track on Luigi Bastillo's track. The next thing that you want to do is you really want to spice up that sound, and you want to use some effects, delays, reverbs, chorus, flanger. All those kinds of effects work beautifully in jazz. I've used it on Ascend, and you can see that I've actually got a reverb as well as some EQ, as well as a little bit of chorus. And then I've utilized a tape delay in order to get a nice sound on the guitars. Right, let's go through the processes one by one on the lead guitar part. We're going to start with the noise gate. I'm just going to play the part. And the whole idea behind the noise gate is to eliminate the noise between the notes. Let's have a listen. There's not really a lot of noise, but let's have a look what happens with the gate. You can hear that that threshold is not right. It's cutting off the notes, so we're going to dial it back. Great. So we've got the ring of the notes. The gate is sounding good. It's just cleaning up any unwanted noise. Let's have a listen to the amp. Right, the EQ. and of course, compression. And I'm just going to bypass the effects for a moment. All right, so I've soloed this so that we can get a really good idea of what's happening in this processor chain. But let's put it into context with the rest of the mix. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you again next time.